I think my tornado story had my kids in the bathtub of a house just north of the tornado. The house shook, the kids were scared, we lost a couple of tree limbs, but otherwise unimpacted. A couple hours later, I drove to Walgreens on Main Street and started what everybody did. You know, I grabbed a chainsaw, my Carhartts, and a couple of cases of water, because to me, somehow that's what I was supposed to do.
I went to try to go help. I'd gotten a car and drove as far as I could, and ended up felt like turned away because the trees were down, the power lines were down, and I just didn't feel like that I had the permission or authority to jump out and start going to see what had happened. And in retrospect, I wish that I had ignored, that passiveness and really acted out on what my gut instinct was to do. And so that was a big lesson for me. So I turned tail and I went back home and just felt frustrated that there wasn't more that I could do or didn't feel like I could do.
Being somebody that had been in media for quite some time, I felt very displaced because I was used to communicating the information that was critical to people getting the life-saving type of feedback that they would need and getting them connected to resources that would be super valuable. I just knew the broadcasting arena really well, and people had trusted me with that for a long time. And I felt helpless for a long time right after the tornado for several days because I felt like I should have been there doing that job because that's all I knew.
On Tuesday, working with some search and rescue crews out of Kansas City, until the first dog pointed. Like when that first dog said, "There's somebody under this debris," I almost passed out and realized that I was in the wrong place in the recovery world. And really for a few days, I think like a lot of folks in this community, I really struggled with what I was supposed to be doing. Thursday night after the tornado, I was at North Middle School sitting in a couple of chairs in the library with Kim Van and Brian Vowes, and we were sharing stories. It was probably close to midnight Thursday night, if I have to guess. And we started talking about the comparison between Bright Futures, so we just started a couple years before that, how Bright Futures' core belief was we have all the resources that we need in the community to meet the needs of our kids, but they're not connected. Kind of just pictured this line around the scar, where on the outside was infinite resources, on the inside seemed at the time like infinite need, but they were bouncing off each other. So we talked about, was there a way to take the Bright Futures model and create something that aligned those resources so that we could more efficiently use them. So that was Thursday night. Went to sleep, woke up Friday morning, called as many people as would answer the phone. It was still a really crazy time. Cell phones still weren't working great. Got lucky, so Brian Vowes and Kim got a hold of Mark Kinsley, I think probably 25 people showed up in my conference room. My wife brought pizza over, and on the whiteboard in my office, I wrote need and have. And we talked about, at the time, starting a website that was just that simple.
We had to make sure that it was well thought out and not something that people would arrive at that site and not get something valuable that they needed. So we had 75 plus volunteers at Anderson Engineering navigating all the different needs and resources that were out there and trying to put them into the website, put them into some architecture that was meaningful, and we made it happen. And it was a very satisfying experience to get that one initial piece of the puzzle done.
On the website, in the beginning, there were these two buttons, I want to give or I want to help. And, basically, I need help. And we just felt like that this was a good tool.
For me, when I realized that what we were doing was good is when FEMA came to my office. They called and they wanted to set up a meeting. And two self-proclaimed old guys from FEMA, by their own words, they walked in and sat down and they said, "Guys, it was me, Garen McMillan, and Mark Kinsley. They said, "Guys, we came to shut you down. Every time a disaster happens, there's do-gooders like you guys that want to change the world, so you create a website, you put information on it, but the problem is 50 people do the same thing. No one website has all the information, so it ends up fragmenting the pool, and it ends up being a detriment instead of a positive. So we came here with a lot of respect and appreciation for your intent, but we came to shut you down." And then we went and looked at your website. And we've never seen anything like it. So instead of shutting you down, what we'd like to ask is for you to take the lead. And we'd like to go around to some other folks that have the same good intentions, but didn't end with quite the same model. Didn't get as lucky in the implementation. And we'd like to ask them to share their information with you to make yours more comprehensive.
We became a connector and a communication portal for these 100 or more disaster agencies that were in town.
We could be the place where everybody came to say what's best for Joplin is best for all of us. And organizations, like names didn't matter, who you worked for didn't matter. And it was really, the first few months after the tornado, it was cool for Rebuild to end up being kind of that hub where everybody came to make good decisions based on what's best for Joplin.
It felt really good to be able to do something that felt meaningful and was a good use of our talents.
I think renewal of faith in yourself and each other and in your community was a big theme for me.
It's been a unique opportunity too, to be able to do something and have such a widespread impact. It's super easy to look at the families that we built a house for and say that's a positive impact that we've had. But then volunteers come up to you and thank you for the opportunity to be able to give this week. I've never done anything like this. It's changed my life. And then the AmeriCorps program and all the folks that we've had come through that. Yeah, it's been a life-changing event. I hope I get to be part of something this cool in the future.
Just real quickly, if you haven't noticed this, just want to make sure you point this out, okay? Rebuilt. That is the operative word for today.
We'd just like to say congratulations and a job well done to Rebuild Joplin.
Congratulations, Rebuild Joplin.
Congratulations, Rebuild Joplin. 180 houses, that's phenomenal.
We are Philip and Amanda Mitchell, and we just want to say a big congratulations to everybody at Rebuild Joplin.
Great job and congratulations, Rebuild Joplin.
Congratulations, Rebuild Joplin. We appreciate everything you have done.
180 homes, it's fantastic.
Congratulations, Rebuild Joplin, on all your hard work.
When we have a natural disaster in this country, this is how these programs should work. This is what it should feel like to be from Joplin, and this is what it should feel like to be an American.